Boruto has been reacting weirdly to Sumire, and this may be a hint for something really big. The last chapter showed us Boruto losing the title of the unbeatable, and this might be a really good time for the other characters to shine, unless the most unexpected thing happens and Momoshiki appears out of nowhere to steal the show. But when it comes to otsutsukis, the anime backstory of Sumire might be foreshadowing her huge role. Not just that, the way she was portrayed on the cover of chapter 12, which goes by the title Thorn Soul Bulbs, the possibility for her to serve an interesting role has enhanced a lot, from possessing the powers of Otsutsuki Kaguya to being the trigger for the Jougan's awakening. The fate of Sumire could have a huge impact on the legacy of Boruto. Kishimoto has never done something for nothing. This statement applies to every setup in the Boruto manga that may seem insignificant to the story, but could eventually lead to a mind-blowing plot twist. The best example can be found in the prophecy arc, when Aida was introduced with an ability to attract everyone. This decision of Kishimoto to give a female character an infatuating power was widely criticized, since it was turning the story into an unnecessary rom-com. The author had already been criticized for letting down the females in Naruto, but this was something really confusing and way too needless. But almost a year after her debut, the omnipotence twist happened, explaining why she had this infatuation power at first place. This was how Kishimoto justified the useless ability of Aida, alongside establishing the base for the god of Suzuki and Shinjutsu plot. The same can happen with any character who shows some weird behavior or inclination towards something. For example, Kawaki's realization of the shinobi's powerlessness eventually made him the doom of this system. On top of that, Boruto will become the last shinobi fighting for this regime, even though he hated the traditional ways in the beginning of the story. Now when it comes to a character like Sumire, who was given a unique backstory in the anime, we can expect something big is being cooked for her. The main attraction from her backstory is the yokai Nue, as well as the Gozo Tenno seal. Nue is a yokai that was created by Root. It is the result of Project Gozo Tenno, and was supposed to be the ultimate weapon, harvested from the Hashirama cells. While the Gozo Tenno was a fuinjutsu created to replicate Kaguya's secret techniques, but the mission failed, and Sumire was able to befriend the yokai as well. What's interesting about this seal is that it may have granted her some Otsutsuki essence, which is why she is immune to omnipotence. While that's something very obvious, something that may actually be plausible is Sumire's attainment of Kaguya's Shinjutsu. With the reveal of Kurama's revival process, it's pretty much clear that even the silver of a Bijuu's chakra is enough for their reincarnation. Now when we talk about Sumire, we know the Gozo Tenno and Nue were formed out of Kaguya's chakra. Back during the war arc, the rabbit goddess had entered her Biju form known as Shinusagi shortly after she was hit by Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, which was powered by Biju chakra. The tail beast energy reacted with Kaguya, which led to the awakening of Shinusagi. This means Sumire has a chance to tap into the secret powers of Kaguya if she gets hit with a 10 tails powered attack. And since the enemy right now is Jura, a humanoid manifestation of the Biju, this makes this theory a lot more plausible. But that's not all. The anime has given us some more subtle hints for Sumire's Kaguya connection. Moments before Kaguya was sealed, she expressed her decision to enter the ice world. And if you take a look at the dimension where Nue teleported Boruto and Sumire, it strongly resembles an icy realm. Not just that, Boruto opening 5 also shows an ice world. And what's interesting is that the Jougan gets activated to fight the monster in this theme song. By this we can conclude Sumire and the Jougan could have some connection in the future. After all, the Pure Eye was able to trace Nue's chakra in the anime, which kinda confirmed that it can detect pure Otsutsuki essence. The yokai is indeed canon to the manga, as it was mentioned in the Ninja Encyclopedia featuring Sumire's entry. It's basically a canon source of the author, which gives us some information about each character's power. Now coming on to the hints from the manga, foreshadowing a huge role for Sumire. First and foremost, we all know she was immune to omnipotence, and without her, it would have been impossible to save Boruto. She connected with Sarada on the right time to tell her everything, which is how we got Sasuke protecting the protagonist at the final moment. Together, Sarada and Sumire defied the prophecy of Momoshiki, which had predicted Kawaki attacking Boruto with a fatal blow. This is not an ordinary stance at all. The power to change someone's destiny, alongside being immune to omnipotence, only hints at the presence of Otsutsuki essence within the body of Sumire. No matter, it indicates a similar thing for Sarada, but her Otsutsuki connection is a bit harder to trace, with the best possibility being the reincarnation theory. A assuming if Boruto is the reincarnate of Shibai, Sarada may be the same to some other Otsutsuki. But this doesn't grant her massive powers automatically, cause throughout the history of Naruto, reincarnations had to work hard on their own, and this status had done little to no good to them. This was obvious with every reincarnate of Ashura and Indra who came before Naruto and Sasuke, explaining why their feud took so long to end. Well, keeping that aside, there is something really odd with Sumire and Boruto's behavior, which only proves it further. Technically, he shouldn't be knowing about her immunity to omnipotence. No one ever mentioned it to him on screen, and unless Koji was updating everything to him, it shouldn't have been possible for Boruto to know that Sumire was immune too. Well, back in chapter 7, Boruto says to Shikamaru that Sarada and Sumire have been telling the truth to him for years, but the power of omnipotence doesn't let him consider their opinions. This means he was aware about Sumire's immunity the entire time, yet when he returned, he didn't bother to explain the divine spell to them. He just naturally expected them to know everything and decided to not put stress on what they already know. We know Sumire and Sarada have been asking Aida for years if she found any solution to the memory magic, yet they never found a satisfying conclusion other than the fact that the only way to move forward is to create new memories. Well, looking at it from a logical standpoint, Boruto must have been getting updates about the village every now and then by Kashin Koji, which is how he knows this much. But there are other ways to look at it, as he acquainted with Sumire differently, which may hint at their possible reunion during the time skip. Now, before diving deep into this theory, let's understand why Sumire's presence on the latest chapter's cover teases her huge importance to the plot. Chapter was titled Thorn Soul Bulb, a brand new item which is obtained after the death of a Shinju. Its main purpose is to revive the person associated with the Shinju tree. In this case, it was Sasuke. Now, a thing about chapter titles is that it corresponds to the characters who can be seen on the cover page. For example, the first chapter is named Boruto and marks his return. The second chapter is called Tree and has Sarada on the cover, signifying the Jonin who had to sacrifice himself to save her. Chapter 3 is called Uzuhiko with Himawari on the cover, indicating the delightful reaction of Boruto upon seeing her moments after using the Uzuhiko. Similarly, chapter 7 is titled Whereabouts of the Sun and features Mitsuki, denoting the realization about the identity of his true son, which is Boruto and not Kawaki. However, when it comes to Sumire and this title, she wasn't given any limelight when the Soul Thorn Bulb appeared. So why in the world was she put on a cover art with such title? Well, since Kishimoto never makes any meaningless move, I don't believe this combination was random. What makes this combination a possible foreshadowing for Sumire's role can also be found in the fourth ending theme of Boruto, the Telegraph Soul. She appears for the first time in this theme song, and it even gives us a glimpse of Boruto losing everything. The word telegraph refers to the ability of conveying one's thoughts to another without the need of words or text. So a telegraph soul might allude to Sumire's feelings for Boruto, or maybe her desire to save him from the ongoing mess. Not just that, the Thorn Soul Bulb also looks similar to the Gozo Tenno seal wielded by Sumire. This symbol signifies the chakra of Niue being stored in a 16-petal flower, and we could even see flowers in the background of the Sumire cover. The Soul Thorn also wields the chakra of an individual, which is yet another similarity that it shares with the Gozo Tenno seal. This may be more than just an artistic expression, and looking at the earlier hints, she could actually play some major role in the Shinju conflict. Looking at how Niue triggered the Jougan in the anime, there is a triangle of otherworldly power built from Boruto, Sumire and Jura. The Jougan is possessed by the young lord and could turn out to be the eye of Shibai, since there are already a plenty of hints which connect Boruto to this deity. Furthermore, Sumire was the trigger to Boruto's power just because her yokai possessed Otsutsuki essence, so she is a key element in activating the hidden power of Boruto as established in the anime. But the entries of Shinju's make it more interesting, as it completes the triangle featuring an Otsutsuki god, the Ten Tails, and a creature made from the Otsutsuki essence. The Ten Tails want him dead regardless of that power, and Sumire possesses the Otsutsuki essence, which could help Boruto gaining that power. Now, since Root was trying to replicate the Shinjutsu of Kaguya Otsutsuki, the Gozo Tenno or New Age chakra signature, having a silver of the rabbit goddess, is not impossible. Even Sumire was shown wearing a rabbit dress in the anime, which might be a small detail explaining what lies within her. Now back to this triangle. As I mentioned earlier, if Sumire comes in touch with the Ten Tails chakra, she could unlock some never before seen power similar to Kaguya's Shinusagi Awakening. And since this power will have a mixture of Otsutsuki and Ten Tails essence, it could be the trigger to Boruto's Jougan Awakening. Only because it has been established in the anime that this eye seeks the chakra of Niue, and it's one of the very few things which led to its activation. In simple words, Jura attacking Sumire could hypothetically awaken her true powers, as well as the pure eye of Boruto. While keeping this Kaguya analogy aside, Niue being manga canon also hints at Sumire tapping into his powers sometime in the future. It could be a need of the hour moment, and since Boruto is in a pretty bad shape right now, Sumire doing something to heal him, likely with Niue, is a plausible possibility. The pure otsutsukification of Boruto may or may not let his wounds heal from any ordinary jutsu, and since Sumire possesses Niue, the result of a shinjutsu experiment, it's very likely that she is going to heal him. But that's not all. After the door of Niue's dimension was closed, Toneri called it a temporary event, which could mean that the door will be reopened very soon. He even added the Jougan's turn won't come for a while, so maybe this dimension and Jougan are connected as well. So what if Jura approaches Konoha to destroy Boruto, and just to protect him from getting annihilated, Sumire could teleport both Boruto and Himawari to the Niue dimension. In this way, both of them would remain safe from the monster who wants to annihilate them. Moreover, Jura making both the Uzumaki siblings his prime target is pretty poetic, considering the story will now primarily focus on them both. This reinstates the meaning of two blue vortex and how Boruto and Himawari will bend through these whirlpools of fate. Now the involvement of Sumire, whether it would be by sending the siblings to Niue's dimension or something else, might already be known to Boruto. Now this may sound a bit too much, but I think it's a bit plausible, so hear me out. Back in the first chapter, when Boruto appeared to fight Code, Sumire was able to instantly identify his presence. Now a point to be noted is that she ain't connected to the Chakra tracing team, meaning that she felt his presence at her own. The question remains, how in the world was she able to remember his Chakra signature for 3 years? This only hints at Sumire connecting with Boruto sometime in the past. That's how she was able to identify him in an instance. Even the way Boruto behaved towards Sumire made it seem like they had talked before. So Sumire did not really have any questions to ask him, maybe because she already knows a lot. Now the question remains, how did both of them reconcile during the time skip? Well, before going over to the medium, let's understand the reason for Boruto to connect with Sumire during the time skip. So a lot of hints have been made about a possible glimpse of future plot in the story. Boruto may have already seen what's about to come for Konoha and its people, which might have even shown him the fate of his supporters like Sumire and Sarada. So a glimpse of future about what each character is capable of and what powers they might be unlocking is also very possible. Now imagine if Boruto had foreseen Sumire using the power of Niue to help him in some future fight, or let's say this present battle against the Shinju. That's right, Boruto may have already lived the present in the past with his foresight power, and just to pull the odds in his favor, he decided to contact Sumire just to provide her instructions for the upcoming fallout. He may not have specifically mentioned the Shinjus to her, but he could have told her to send him and Himawari to Niue's dimension if the situation gets out of hand. He knows only she's capable of doing such thing, as Kawaki won't cooperate when it comes to working together. So Sumire, being the first one to figure out omnipotence, alongside making Amado spit some important intel, explains why Boruto may have trusted her with this role. The medium of their connection could be none other than Niue, since Boruto may have foreseen him reacting with his Jougan in the second glimpse of future. So if the yokai is gonna be the medium of Boruto and Sumire's secret reunion, then there is a slight possibility for an off-screen debut of the Jougan already taking place in the manga. Well, check out these videos if you wanna know more about this pure power, and comment down your favorite theories from this video. Also subscribe to never miss anything from my side, and I will see you next time.